Hello, family. How you doing? I'm Jay Hadwinn. We on My Brothas Spot, and we have my man here, Allen Obi from We Need to Talk. How you doing, my brother? Thanks for coming to the spot.
Man. Absolutely. I'm happy to be here, man. I'm excited.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your work. I'm telling you, your work is bomb, and I like that you're uplifting both sexes, brothers and sisters, and helping us understand how to get along. I really appreciate that, my brother.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
For sure. So how did, We Need to Talk start?
I'm gonna give you the footnotes version. So I was in college. I was running NAACP at my university, and we were trying to figure out programs, right? We're trying to figure out things we could do to get not just the Black community at the school engaged, but the entire student body engaged. We decided to do a discussion series, right? We were gonna do stuff about racism, colorism, things like that.
That's dope.
And then a friend of mine suggested I make it its own organization, and that's kind of how We Need to Talk started. And
that's
then,
dope.
We grew to 6 schools. COVID
Six
happened.
schools?
Yeah, 6 different schools. COVID
HBCU?
happened. No. Maybe 2 of them were HBCUs.
Okay.
But COVID happened and shut down.
Oh.
So then I had to migrate to YouTube, and we've been doing the YouTube thing ever since.
Man, you doing it good too.
Appreciate
you know
it.
what I'm saying?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And you didn't have to come on this channel, man. You got way more subscribers, and that just shows your heart. I just want you guys to understand that. You know what I'm saying? This brother has a good heart to even come out here and help us with viewership also, but we need to represent Allen because We Need to Talk. I'm telling you, man, he's spitting gems.
No, I appreciate it. I had to, man. I saw what you were doing. I appreciated what it represented, brothers coming together and talking. So, you know what I'm saying? I had to pull up, man.
Man, for sure, man. That's what's up. Gotta get don't want to hit the microphones.
Good.
Hey, man. So what is your goal in like the upcoming years where We Need to Talk?
Basically, I guess the small goal is I want to just model for people how to have conversations between men and women, right? Too often on social media, what we see is antagonistic conversation. The woman is blaming the man for all his shortcomings, all her shortcomings, and vice versa. I wanted a situation where you get to see 2 Black people listening to one another more so than speaking. And then also, exploring some of these complicated topics. But the long-term vision, man, I want this to become like a TED, but for conversation, where TED is technology, education, design. Yeah. I want this to be like conversation, community building for Black folks. So I want it to be intellectual, but I also want it to be relatable. Again, I don't have all the dots of how I'm going to get there, but that's the big picture.
Trial and error builds a picture. I'm telling you, man, and when we take L's, like I said on my shorts, that's learning.
Lessons,
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like I told you earlier, you're 30, man, you way ahead of me in understanding women. When I was 30, I was just shooting a big ass rock in a big old pond. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make a splash. But man, it's just dope. So what do you think the issues in your age group that the brothers and sisters are having?
I think it's number one is generational trauma. And what I mean by that, even like when I'm having some of these conversations with the sisters, some of the stuff that they are saying men are this, men are that, men are this, none of it happened to them. Wow. But they've heard so many stories from their aunties, from their moms, from Tyler Perry movies.
My age group, the bitter ones. We got some bitter ones.
This is like their operating premise of who Black men are. Right. And then you go out into the world and it's confirmation bias, right? Because you're going to gravitate towards what you think men are, right? That's number one. But number two, I think one of the consequences, some aspects of the sexual revolution and things like that, it's almost giving women permission to be shameless. Not just promiscuous, but shameless. And shameless in a way that consequences don't have to exist. So I can do X, Y, and Z, and I shouldn't be discriminated against when it comes to mate selection because of what I did or who I was. And I think that's really, those two things, if I had to boil it down, is really what's plaguing our women. Now the men, brothers my age, just don't know what that means. I think number one, we weren't raised by men, so we didn't even see what manhood looks like.
You guys didn't even have the environment.
And all we think manhood is everything that women are telling us they want to see. And women don't even know what the hell manhood is, right? So we're following, it's the blind leading
So we're just following emotions.
Right.
That's dangerous.
Right.
And we don't even understand that we actually are the ones that look at things black and white, and women need that balance.
Absolutely.
See, family, this is what I mean, man. He's 30 years old. I wasn't even thinking like this. I swear to you guys, I wasn't thinking like this in my 30s. All I wanted to do was just, just, take the girls out on a date. I get a girl, I tell her I'll buy her a fit at the Beverly Center. And if she go out to the club with me, and I'll promote her because I knew women was basically very competitive.
Yeah.
I buy that. The homies know about this spot. It's on Santa Monica Boulevard. La Brea also. I used to go there and rent out the nice Mercedes and the Bentleys and all that. Pull up with the girl in the front of the club. Yeah. You get free, publicity, and then all the girls don't know why they want you. No, I'm just serious. I used to do that. And then after that, I'd be at the bar like this with her, give her some drinks. And then she got to use a bathroom. The women in the bathroom, the line is long. I was that type of dude. You feel me?
Yeah.
I wasn't nice until I got a therapist to break down karma and how we're hurting women, even worse.
I'll tell you this, man. I think what did it for me, I'll be honest, I've always been kind of observant. I'm an introvert. So, I spend more time listening and talking. So you pick up on certain patterns and things like that.
That's dope.
When it comes to women. But like in high school, I finally dated a girl that I'd been crushing on since like middle school and my senior year of high school. As you get close to somebody, as you start learning about them, learning about the skeletons in their closet, you realize, man,
I had to laugh.
She is not what I thought she was. She
why is it
the
like
whole nine? And then, you start having those conversations, unpacking, okay, this what happened to you, this who your dad was, this who your mom was.
You start seeing the roots.
You start seeing the roots.
Yeah.
So now, because of that situation, my default now is, what are your roots? Forget your face, your ass, your titties, the whole nine. What are your roots? Because, and a lot of young brothers don't realize this, but like women are dangerous. A woman can ruin you.
18-year contracts, homie.
Listen, and the
18-year, you ain't gonna really be stable financially in a capitalistic society. You better strap it on, homie. That's the best thing my dad, I had a 2-parent home. Best thing my dad said, even though I was treating them kind of wrong, and playing games, I wear my Jimmy hat. That's why I don't even have kids. I'm 51, I don't have kids. So I never was held down. I could travel, I could do everything. Men could have kids at like 50, 60 if we want. And that's what we don't understand. Don't be lunched down, with no 18-year contract. Now, it's exceptions to the rule. You could be young and that female have both parents, don't have daddy issues, and make your job easier. You know what I'm saying? Instead of always having to make this female appreciate you and chase her. Because you gotta, brothers, we need to stop, like I always say, marrying our sex partners. We're programmed to marry our reproduce with our sex partner, not marry them, reproduce. And sex only lasts so long, good sex with anybody, even if you have the best connection sexually, it's gonna go away in 8 months to a year and a half. So what do you have left if you don't have no conversation? That's why I like this young brother. He understands this.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think especially for us as black men, we were socialized to believe that our ability to conquer women was equivalent to our level of masculinity. Because when you think about it, number one, because of the way the system is set up, one of the only times we get to feel like men is when we bending a woman over. Yeah. Other than that, she talking to us crazy. She's disrespecting us in the whole nine. And then on top of that, you could think back to high school, middle school. You could be the dude like that guy because you're the most athletic. You're the tallest, or you could fight, or you know what I'm saying? You know stuff
you're
about
the best basketball player in the school. Yeah. Everyone recruiting you.
Or how you could hopscotch that whole thing is you get bitches.
Yeah, that too.
So and so can do all this stuff, but he get bitches. He's the leader of the pack. That's how it works. So we have put so much of our social value on our ability to conquer women. And some of us don't even know why we do it. We don't even think about like, oh, I'm trying to prove something to myself. I'm trying to prove something to my friends. Yeah. And that's why I got to add another body and another body and another body. And we just end up in that cycle. And for some of us, it leads us into fatherhood. For some of us, it leads us into, crime or whatever the case may be to position ourselves to get bitches. And we just a hamster wheel, man.
Man, it is a hamster wheel. Damn, dude. I love the way you put stuff. Yo, man, you right. Now, damn, man, I feel bad the way I used to do it. I feel bad, man.
Yeah.
And, it was a blessing. Sometimes I used to get real upset, like back in the days, like, dang, why that fine girl didn't like me? I'm mad. This is the younger me. But now I look in hindsight, because you could find them on, Facebook, Instagram. I'd be like, dang, the universe really saved me from a headache. And I want to let brothers know also, when I was getting recruited by certain colleges and all that, you had your little car hop women and all that in LA. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the fine girls that I did, do with, it didn't feel as good as an average woman. So
facts.
You can't even dictate on a fine. They move differently. So the thing is that our perspectives are fogged up by programming. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't blame our brothers and sisters, because we're highly programmed.
Absolutely.
They sprinkle crack in the neighborhood. You understand the American way. It's some Nigerians or Guyanese, they come over here and they don't understand our situation. But that's what I like about you. I know you understand our situation as here. Yeah, we have more here. The architecture is younger and all that. We have cleaner water and all that. The projects don't even look as bad as the roughest spots, over. Yeah, and they can't get over that. But here in America, it's mental.
Absolutely.
We're messed up mentally.
Absolutely.
We're sick. When I went in the Navy and I went overseas, mentally, they're not sick.
I disagree.
With religion.
I think it's a different type of sick, but we sick too. We're very sick.
Can you break that down?
I would say slavery is like being locked up in somebody else's basement. Colonialism is like being locked up in yours. For instance...
Because you guys, that's your own country. Elaborate.
So I always kind of go back to the Berlin Conference. At that time, the European powers were warring over which African nations to rape and pillage.
The resources.
And they decided, all right, let's stop our beef. You know what I'm saying? She's who we want. She is in Africa. She's who we want. Let's organize how we're going to divvy her up. And that's the Berlin Conference. So then they drew borders. Okay, this is Nigeria. This is Ghana. But when they drew those borders, they didn't take into account what divisions already existed.
Because tribes.
The tribal stuff,
They did the same things in the Americas with the Cherokees.
Absolutely. And it's to their benefit, because then it's divide and conquer.
It does.
So with that being said, you add that on top of the fact that, example, Congo is supposed to be the wealthiest country in the world.
It should be with
from a natural resources standpoint.
Got you.
Now, here's the thing about the Congo. France colonized the Congo. That's why they speak French. Today, France uses the euro, but they forced the Congo to continue to use the French franc.
Now, why is that?
So they can control the economy of the Congo.
Interesting.
Even though they gave them their independence, they still control their economy. They said the Congo has to deposit, I think, 85 to 95% of their bank reserves in French banks. Whatever natural resources they find in their own country, they have to give France the first right of refusal. Wow. Which means I got to bring it to you first to see if you want it.
And that ain't even a country.
It's like, yes, we're Congolese, but we're France's bitch.
Wow.
Yes, we're Nigeria, but we're British bitch. So a lot of Africans either don't know this or they're not honest enough to admit it.
Because we're too busy trying to survive. That's just like in the hood. It's the same way with the young brothers that's pitching,
and
drugs.
They're fighting each other instead of the real.
But they're too busy because they're trying to survive. It's a different beast over here because a lot of our people are very insecure. So
same over there.
Insecurity
same over there.
Here in America is expensive. So when you're insecure, you got to buy more. You got to intrigue. We're like the bird that's out there with the biggest feathers, the peacocks, and we just trying to get that money. The feathers on the peacocks is $1. So, but then the one with the biggest feathers and all that is too colorful. So that other peacock without the feathers, he gonna shoot you because he like, I want some punani too. So where insecurity is expensive, they buy the cars and nothing is made by us. So basically what's happening, we're helping another group, rappers, all that. We're promoting their stuff and not making our own stuff. And it's a program cycle. You know what I'm saying?
I think the advantage I would give to African Americans is, in my humble opinion, I think there's more of an awareness of the depth of the problem in the West.
It is.
Than in Africa. And the only reason I say that is I think you guys are more familiar with white supremacy than we are.
We are.
Outside of like South Africa. I would say
South Africa understand it too.
So because Nigeria, for instance, we grow tomatoes, but import tomato sauce and tomato juice and tomato paste.
Are you kidding me?
We have oil, but we import gasoline.
Now I heard about that. Right.
We have Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's Nigerian. He's playing for an American league, not a Nigerian league. Right. One doesn't exist.
Right.
Some of France, when they won the World...
The Greek Freak, one of my favorite.
When France won the World Cup, a lot of their players are Congolese, right? So not only are we exporting exporting our natural resources, we're also exporting our human resources, our human capital.
And we got to understand as a people, we're stronger together. And we don't understand that they have to cheat.
Yes.
We don't understand
Absolutely.
that.
There
They
we
have,
go.
so don't be mad at them, because if everything was fair,
They would lose.
they'll lose. They have to.
listen.
So stop trying to get their approval. See, a lot of our people want to get their, that's why I left LA, because LA is like, oh, diversity. We don't make money in diversity.
Right.
Because we're buying all their stuff and they don't want to buy our stuff.
Right.
So that's what we don't understand. So I came to Atlanta and it's different.
Yeah.
They trying. I gotta be down here. I'm a West Coast brother, but I sniffed out that game a long time. That diversity stuff, it don't work.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean you hate other races.
Yeah.
It's just you gotta circulate your dollar.
That's my issue with some of like the protests we see and the Black Lives Matter and things like that, because it assumes that a constant appeal to the white delegation's morality is what's going to get through them, and it never has.
They can't do it. They can't do it. Our people don't. They can't be fair. If I was white, I wouldn't be fair. If you look at, okay, I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was on my ship, we went to Singapore, and then we went to Malaysia.
Yeah.
And then we went to Australia. These were the first spots that we stopped off at. You know what I noticed? A lot of the local females that was just trying to look for American men to come to America and all that, they were hitting on Latinos and brothers and basically men of color more than the white guys. And the white guys was mad. And my chief told me, he was like, yeah, you know why they do that? And I was like, why? He said, because all these females know we make the same money. Now you know why they pay certain white dudes here more, and they push that, because if they didn't have that resource, not even they woman will want them as much. If we all had the same resources, it'd be more
and
mixing.
I mean, on top of that too,
So
like,
they have to cheat.
you have to realize like white people are a global minority.
Yeah, they are.
Like they're 70% in the United States, but globally they're the minority.
Yeah, they are.
Right. So not only like you could argue genetic inferiority, but numbers wise. So if I don't have it's just like in fighting. If I don't have the size, I have to have the fight. I have to be more ruthless. I have to be willing to go places where my opponent is not willing to go. And credit to white people, them. And this is the reality.
And our people may get upset at me for saying this, but our ancestors, they were too friendly and they just outwitted them. And we're in a situation now to where we're going to have to get out of it. And it doesn't mean hate them. It's a lot of good white people.
It's not about hate. Because just like white folk, I don't think it's about hate with them.
A good amount of them, I don't think it is. I think it's survival.
It's about survival. Absolutely.
I think it's survival.
Like when you actually sit and listen to KKK Grand Wizards talk and the people who are racist oh yeah, they're talking about being eliminated, their genetics being eliminated. And I think that's the mistake we make. We're minimizing the conversation to, oh, you hate me because I'm black. No, it's not that. It's I'm afraid of you because you're black.
Thank you.
Because your genes are dominant. Right.
And I want to exist too.
I want to exist too.
Right.
And that's a different conversation from this give us the right to vote and this stuff that we're doing, and we're minimizing the conversation. Yeah. We have to understand who the enemy is.
Right.
Because they understand us.
Yeah, a lot. A lot more. That's why they always sneak into stuff we're doing and all that. And you be like, why are they here? Because they're very intrigued by us, and they have, like, as a matter of fact, they're growing seeds and food that won't hurt them, but it'll hurt us. And no one's going in prison, and the initials is BG. I'm telling you, this is ruthless. This is the lengths that they'll go.
All the war.
Check this out. This shows how strong we are from continent to continent. We're playing around and we're still surviving. Imagine if we didn't play around.
I think the metaphor there, we all knew a dude in high school, for instance, who he could have gone to the league. He just couldn't get right with his grades or stay out the street or whatever.
That was me.
May be. Because he had the talent, it's just like AI practice versus the white boy who really didn't have talent like that, but he took 200 shots a day.
He practiced his butt off. Look at those Europeans come over now. Like, they got better footwork than the Americans. Their shooting techniques is off the hook. Like how
The
fast,
athleticism don't
how
mean
they
nothing.
hold the ball. You know what I'm saying? How they
Release.
flick the wrist,
Oh, yeah.
the arch, superb. But us, you know, we halfway, it still look like Dr. J shot. I'm not bagging on Dr. J. Dr. J was hard. You know what I'm saying? But the skill, his athleticism got him over.
I think that's such a perfect analogy because while they're shooting threes, we're still getting dunks and twos.
Wow.
We're selling for the flashy two versus the effective three.
Real talk. So they getting further ahead.
Yeah, oh, that was a nice between the legs. Oh, but you down 20.
It looked better. Right.
And that's us.
That's
Flash.
us, man. We flash.
Pomp circumstance. Yep.
Extremely insecure, and we're the most sought after male and female on this planet. But insecure. Just because someone says, hey, you ugly, you a jigaboo or whatever, we believe them and we not. They actually want us.
Man,
But if they do, back in the days when contraceptives were, they would have mixed kid, and they couldn't do that. It was.
I told brothers, man, I posted on the community tab a while back after Matt McClung won the dunk contest.
Yeah.
I'm like, they dunking now.
Yeah.
They're the heavyweight champion of the world now.
Hey, well, McClung was getting up too.
You know what I'm saying? So
I ain't gonna even lie, because like, not even tall.
They could whoop us, boxing, UFC. You know what I'm saying? Now they could dunk. Now they playing with Luka Doncic.
Right.
So all this, we the swaggiest.
They got the sports medicine together finally.
You search Neo Soul on Spotify, white boys.
Are you kidding me?
Mac Ayers, Tom Missich, those
you know
kind
why
of
they
dudes.
doing it? They want our women.
So we talking about, they're talking about replacement theory. What's really getting replaced is the swag that we have naturally. They don't need it no more. They can now use a computer to write our music and perform it for us.
I saw that with
and sell
Drake.
it back
I
to
heard
us.
that with Drake. I couldn't believe. I actually thought it was Drake at first.
So my message to brothers is we can't continue to rest on our laurels of being the swaggiest, the most stylish, and the most sought after. We have to become scientists. We have to become the ones shooting threes.
Yep.
Instead of focusing on the flash and the fact that we're going to
where
walk
does
in the
that come
spot
from?
and look the best.
We need a 2-parent home. That's where the root is.
Yeah.
All this Cardi B stuff, I'm sorry, baby. It ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? You taking money from Tasha K. You know, you just heard
I
another
don't even know
sister.
nothing about that situation, man.
Yeah, but it's a long story. You know what I'm saying? We need to stop fighting each other. Okay, Tasha K says some whack stuff about Cardi B, that she had, STD, and it wasn't true.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But she's suing her like a mug. You know what I'm saying? And I think we need to mend those bridges where we like how white people, they are other people, other ethnicities deal with it. Okay, let's talk about it. How can we work together? I don't like you, but how can we work together? They do that. I've seen it.
Yeah.
They do not like each other.
I will say this, though. I think one of the mistakes that we make is we've turned our celebrities into our intellectuals. Because, and this is what I tell people, all these celebrities that we worship, the musicians, the actors, they were the theater kids in high school.
The ones we used to make, I know what you mean.
You see what I'm saying? Because they have to be eccentric to turn themselves into a new character.
Creed got shitted on in high school.
So, and I say that not because they're necessarily bad people, but like every other community, they're waiting on what Elon Musk has to say.
They sure
Not
are.
Katy Perry.
You're right.
But for us, it's about when is Beyonce gonna drop a new album?
Right.
Like she's our new Martin Luther King.
And you know what makes that so dangerous? He who pays you controls you.
Come on now.
So all those the celebrities that we are into and worshiping, they could be told whatever
Absolutely.
to do,
They're
and you ain't
instruments.
even knowing subliminally they're putting stuff in our minds. And we don't even understand that because of lack of parenting. He who pays you controls you. So who is paying Beyonce? Who's paying Jay-Z? They're being controlled. Now, if we came together and started paying a monthly and then we had big stars like that, I guarantee you the music be different because we'll be paying them. You know what I'm saying? 2-parent home people, the music will sound totally different. It may sound like the old Maze, Frankie Beverly and Maze, and it may be like that, more love. It'll be different again, but now, art, how they say it? Art makes life or something.
Art imitates reality.
Thank you.
Now reality's imitating art.
Right. So it's the hood, man, I'm gonna slap that. Get out of New York. What? You ain't from over here. She sound like a dude.
Yeah.
I thought she was Onyx at first. It's like, dang, girl.
You talking about Scarlett?
Yeah. And you know what's weird? she's actually a beautiful sister. She's beautiful. She got to be hard.
Metaphor again.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Too many of our women are the same as that.
And it ain't her fault neither. See, that's the whole thing. Cardi B, all that. Okay, if they never tampered with our environments, then it'd be our fault. Check this out. A lot of people don't know. Like, a lot of projects, and I looked this up and did extensive research on it. A lot of projects have mercury in it. You know what mercury does to the brain? It retards it. So all these kids was drinking from the faucet, all these projects all over, and you wonder why they're so aggressive.
Right.
And they did that on purpose. See, people don't talk about that. And we're such a great people, like I said on the last podcast, that we only have 38% incarceration with all these things that's happening, but they don't talk about the 62% of dudes that don't have no type of prison background. I've never been to prison, all that. It's a lot of us, but they don't promote that because they're programming us. So when I walk around, even though I got a little swag, you know what I'm saying, thinking I'm that dude, right, because it's programmed, and I'm not. I'm a good brother that was raised by his mom and dad, but had hands. I had hands. I will get you. I ain't no little dudes could fight too. See, that's another thing. Come on, it's a lot of Mike Tysons. People don't understand that because they got the legs and a shorter
range of motion.
Dog, you could tip taller dudes over. I learned that in the military. So a lot of women don't understand. Kevin Samuels was right on that. They want someone over 6 foot and they be like 5'2". What?
You know what's
that's crazy.
I'm gonna probably say this during one of my interviews, but what's interesting to me about women is they shame men for wanting women who are better than their mom, but they want men who are better than their dads. A lot of these 5'2" girls, their dad was 5'5". Their dad was broke. Their dad was emotionally unintelligent, but it's okay for her to want a better man. But when a man who comes from a single mother is like, I don't want an aggressive woman, I grew up with one. I want a feminine woman. I grew up with an aggressive one. I want a woman who's, this.
So that's why they go to the other races sometimes?
Unfortunately, I think so. I think part of the reason why we see some boys go to other races is because his first example of femininity wasn't feminine.
Scared to death out of him. He didn't want that. He didn't want that headache. Because when we come home, we want peace.
Matter of fact, it's a movie about it. I think it's called Brothers. Bill Bellamy. I think Bill Bellamy and Shamar Moore, I believe, and somebody else.
I gotta watch that. I may have not seen
Bill Bellamy's character, his mom didn't like him because he looked too much like his dad.
Ooh.
And that's why Bill Bellamy dated white women, because he never got love from his mom. But again, we don't have these conversations.
Wow.
We only talk about women's horror stories.
His environment. It's all environmental. But our women weren't like that at first.
They weren't, yeah. And that's why I know they can be better, and that's why we having these conversations.
And I really don't think women know what they want. Because I've been with women in the past where they said, you a mark, you're not gangster, and she a pretty hood girl, and I wanted to experience her. You know what I'm saying? And through persistence, I basically bought her. You know what I'm saying? She was using me, I was using her. But then at the end, she started liking me. And that's when I start understanding the woman biology. Whoever women are with, it ain't gonna last, but they'll actually start liking you if you penetrate them and you're not horrible. It's something in them that they get conditioned, whoever they open their legs to, they'll start liking them eventually.
Absolutely. No, it's dopamine is released, and part of that is
that's interesting. Because she did not like me.
Right. When I mate with this man, this is why the sexual liberation really messed us up. Because we don't understand that mating was a survival tactic. So as a female, when I mate with this man, I'm subconsciously saying that I trust him to not just protect me, but protect our potential offspring. And also when I say protect, not just like physically protect, but in the genes that is imparted on this potential offspring. That's why women like a taller man. They want the offspring to be bigger. They want a strong man. They want an intelligent man. They want that for the offspring. So in the process, and this is what annoys me about this whole submission debate.
Okay.
The process of procreation for the female is submission. What's more submissive than being bent over? What's more submissive than having your legs open and having somebody enter you?
Right.
So to draw this delineation, I'm willing to submit sexually, but not willing to submit intellectually or emotionally, is rubbish. So I've been telling women okay,
I see your point. Yeah.
If you're going to submit anyway, do your due diligence and make sure that in the event that what sex is supposed to be about actually comes to pass, this is somebody that you would be proud to raise. Because you're going to raise another him. When you give a man some pussy, you're essentially saying that the world needs another one of him, and I want to help make that happen. And I'm willing to die.
That makes so much sense. Because
I'm
they
willing
could
to
die
die
in childbirth. You're right.
I'm willing to go blind to make that happen. This is the type of
deep.
game females should be imparting on other women. But it's not getting imparted. So now it's just, pop that pussy, this, and but it's not, it's deep for them. Because they could die. I'm buzzing that, I'm out.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So even though we've gone away from like really at the core of what sex is, that's what it is. And we're talking about pleasure and all that, which is cool. But like, I would expect the older women of the female delegation to impart this on the younger women, because whether they like it or not, whether you call yourself a hot girl, whatever the case may be, you could be on the shelf for 9 months or forever.
You're right.
If it don't go right, preeclampsia.
You're right.
Post-traumatic, was it?
Man, they be snapping.
Yeah.
They be snapping. I had a girl I was dealing with that just had a baby. The old me again, she was bad, so I was trying to wait. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
I was feeding her cornbread and salmon.
Shit.
You know who you are. When I was that grimy dude that didn't give a rip about females. I gave a rip, but the thing is like, you get done bad that one day, Candy Girl New Edition remind me of it. This girl Maisha did me wrong. I hated you. You know what I'm saying? But ever since, always had my heart guarded. So a therapist actually helped me through that. Now, I heard some brothers say that, like, I think Andrew Tate, I don't need therapy. Sometimes you do. Now, I understand what Andrew Tate was saying, though. He was saying that we have to go through the hard times to learn how to survive. Even if it's a little trauma to where it's going to throw you off from getting ahead, you got to fix that, and Andrew Tate trauma actually made him stronger, but he said he couldn't sleep at night. So if you don't sleep at night real well, what happens to you? You could die earlier. Your life expectancy goes off. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Anton Daniels talking about, I resonate with him. Bro, everything is constant work. You can't just shit on another, thing and say that you don't need it. Like women and men bonding, it ain't ever gonna be perfect. That's what we gotta understand too. It's not gonna be pretty the way the movie puts it. Me and my wife work at our marriage. We've been married for 10 years. We work. We fall out and fall back into love. And the reason why is because we're actually friends. We're not incredible sex partners at all. Like, I don't make her breathe really hard, and she don't make me breathe really hard at times. I'm just talking, my wife's a nice looking female.
Yeah.
But like certain females, pheromones do something to you, and then certain men, musk and all that do something. We're like more friends.
Yeah.
But if you seen where we came from and what we have now, you see how strong friendship. All we doing is missing a child. If we would have had a child, I think we would have been great parents. Hopefully she's younger than me. Hopefully maybe we could do some egg stuff. She froze them. And we'll see what goes on, but I wasn't gonna have no kid and not give my all. And when I was younger, I didn't want to give my all, because I believe when two people have children, it's not about you no more.
Right.
That's just my theory.
No, that's a
I
fact.
could be wrong.
That's a fact.
It's not about you no more. Yeah. So my dad and my mom put that in my head. It ain't about you no more, because once they had me, it wasn't about them no more. So I'm an only child. I was selfish. I was like, well, shit, I'm having fun about me. So I'm gonna wait. I said, I'm gonna wait till I'm 38, but it didn't work. You can't control life, so you're constantly trying to fix stuff. And that applies also in relationships. A lot of women get in relationships, be like, oh, this is my ideal man. He's so fine. Look at his biceps. All that, have none in common with him. Right. They are not friends. And then wonder why we have so many breakups and so many divorces and so many broken homes, because we've been programmed to reproduce with our sex partners and not our friends. Reproducing should be with our friends, not our sex partners. Because friendship lasts way longer than sex partners. How many porno people are married? How long? They got some that's married. That's an exception. Please don't bring it up. Oh, I know such and such, big booty Aliyah and such. Nah, man, that's the exception. You know what I'm saying? The realness is that porno people, they get sick of each other and they get on another one and get on another one, and then they get an STD, and then they give them something to clear the STD. Friends, if you notice people that stay married long, friends. And that's what the programming don't want to hear. You know who you are, the programmers. You control everything. That's why we're going to get our own stuff. We're not going to be on YouTube like that, because we know what you do. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get our own stuff. Tasha K Style. What? All right, we need to talk. I'm going to tell you what I like about it. And I got to give you your roses, your flowers. I learned some stuff from a young buck. Bro, I'm going to be straight up. What you're doing and letting the women understand, I feel you're doing it better than Kevin Samuels, because it was certain things. Kevin Samuels was spitting some real shit. But Kevin Samuels, I remember a couple times it was women that was like, I came on here for help. You know what I'm saying? And you're right, you're right. But then he kept pounding them. And this one female, I forget her name, what she said, she looked like my mom. And he was just bam, bam. That got to me. That really got to my heart, because, you know, my mom passed from cancer. I was a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying? That kind of struck me wrong with Kevin Samuels, even though I know Kevin was saying some real stuff, but your delivery is better. And I think a lot more women are going to listen to you and get more nutrition from you. You know, Kevin was spitting some real stuff, but he wasn't getting the women to absorb it. You're getting more men and more women to absorb what you're saying, including elders like me. I'm learning from it. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna apply this on my wife. You think I'm kidding?
I appreciate it.
You know, whenever you need, if you have t-shirts, anything, you know, you see, I got my t-shirt,
Oh, yeah.
Brothers Spot.
Y'all cops, huh?
I'm a puppet. You know what I'm saying? You'll always have a friend on this channel, and that's what this channel's about. It's our spot.
Absolutely.
This is our brother spot, my brother spot. And it's for females, sisters, and brothers. And we're gonna have a sister that come on here and she's gonna talk about, and this is like one of the few other questions I have. She's gonna talk about how she was raped. I think a lot of our sisters have been raped too.
Yeah.
I think that's our big problem too. And it's dealing with protection, you know, because the male wasn't around. That crack and that welfare took us away, and them creepy friends and them creepy uncles and all that. And well,
sometimes aunties molested these girls too.
Yeah.
And the boys.
I got messed with when I was younger. That's a whole nother. I got messed with. But the boys that turn them on. See, I got turned on by a babysitter.
But it does that to the girls.
And she was way older than me.
Does that to the girls too. All these girls were fast.
Yeah.
Something happened to them.
Yeah. So what do you think about so-called African Americans, like the percentage? Because I personally think it's like in the 80s percentile that a lot of girls have, and that's why they're so out there. I think they've been touched, a lot of them.
Yeah. I can't put a percentage on it, but I would say it's more than we know. Because I know, for instance, the conversations I've had with women, I would say probably 80% of them, something happened to them. Right.
I hate that, because it messes it up to make a good relationship.
I read somewhere that 97% of who you become as an adult is dictated by whatever happens between 0 and 7.
Jeez, that young.
So if anything goes wrong in those years, it's not impossible for you to, change your life, but it's damn near impossible. Because during those years, like my daughter right now is 2.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They're laying the foundation of what a human is. What is a human? What is a good interaction? What is a bad interaction? That's why at some point they'll be mimicking you and stuff like that. And if you think about kids who are raised in the hood, who are raised around sex looking like violence, even the language we use in our music,
fight.
right?
Oh, exactly.
I'm gonna beat the pussy up. I'm gonna shoot up the clip.
And they hearing that, they taking that all in.
So that becomes their normal paradigm of sex. For example, right? We talk about like Jonan building character, demeaning somebody, building character. Like a lot of the things that we've established as norms, and we're establishing as norms for our kids, our children, and then we wonder why they grow up and they're shitty human beings. Is because between those ages of 0 and 7,
you're right.
The things that the child's mind is like, what is a normal human interaction? They're watching mommy and daddy, or mommy and her boyfriend, or daddy and his girlfriends. And this is normal. Yeah. So then the girls go out and they look for a man who could put me in my place. The boys go out and look for a woman who's crazy about me because it means my dick good.
And that means nothing. That's not like,
and it's reinforced by the music. And I used to be on that. It's reinforced by the movies. It's reinforced by each other, the conversations we're having with each other. Because just like I was fucked up, you were fucked up too. So it's the blind leading the blind. Damn.
I can't believe as good as my parents was, I was on that. I was on that.
Yep.
You know what? You got to admit, the people, them pale people smart. It's evil, Now, I don't think they're smart technology-wise because all their technology does is harm the planet. See, our technology wouldn't harm the planet, and I look at that as intelligence because we have some hell of a technology that they not even telling us.
This is what I say, because I've gone back and forth about this.
Break it down.
I think we give white people too much credit.
Break it down.
I think some of the stuff that they did was engineered. I think some of the stuff that they did was deliberate. But I think some of the fallout of who we've become is just a consequence of just random, just you leave something out in the sun long enough, it's gonna stink. I don't think, or I refuse to think, that white people are that meticulous and that ingenious. Because I think the mistake, in my opinion, some of our Hotep, because I'm Hotep,
For sure.
brothers and sisters make is that they almost create this paradigm that the white man is an evil genius, which means that I'm not as intellectually capable as he is.
I feel I am.
Because he was able to outsmart me at every single turn. I don't think it was that. I think there was some, ingenuity in what they did.
I think
but
it
I
was
think
fear
other
mostly.
things were just, it was us. Some of it was us. Just like I was talking about Africa, those rifts already existed. All he did was take advantage of it.
It made you divided.
I already know they don't like each other. I'm gonna just put them in the same room.
He is a
that
master of
genius?
division.
Not necessarily,
Yeah.
but it's just white people are capitalists. That's something I can't take away from them. They are capitalists.
They are good at that.
But I think, we need to evolve the conversation to what you were saying about they need to be like this or they will not survive.
Yeah.
That is a different paradigm than we shall overcome.
Yeah, they have to, and that's why I don't really hate them, and I understand. Because if I came here white, and I'm here in high school, and these brothers, majority of them,
Come on now.
jumping high,
Come on now.
they got rhythm,
Come on
and
now.
all that. Shit, they want the girls too. You know what I'm saying? And they want Shaquilla and all of them also. They just not admitting it. They're laughing. Oh, they want to test that too. You know what I'm saying? And they can't. And so, what type of adult does that make? Just on that. So that's what I mean. And if I went through that, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna lie, in high school, I kind of got my way. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a pretty good high school basketball player. I just had bad grades. The colleges was like, okay, you only 6'2" and a half. It's a lot of you. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna keep tabs on you. And then I noticed that I got a certain coach that we weren't seeing eye to eye. And I noticed real quick that how much power they have.
Absolutely.
So I was like, if this white coach
That's another
could
perfect
make
metaphor.
me look
That is
nasty,
another perfect metaphor.
I don't even want to go to the league. I don't even want to, because he's making me look nasty, and I can murder these guys out here.
Check this out, though. We're preoccupied about being the best player on the team. They trying to be the coach.
Yeah.
They trying to be the owner.
Yeah.
Right? So we're playing checkers. They're playing chess.
You're right. And he had me playing at times small forward, power forward, because I could jump. I'm 6'2". And then he asked me at the beginning of the season.
Best, yeah.
At the beginning of the season, he said, hey, what position you want to play? When he came and knocked his other coach out that brought me there, he said, well, and I didn't want to play a point guard for him because I already seen how he get down. He yell at people. He loved Bobby Knight. That's how he ran. And I ain't gonna have no white boy yell at me. So I ain't like him anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm making you look good and you want to yell at me? You crazy? We making all, like, I balled with the O'Bannons. I was a part of that Victoria Park traveling team. I played against Titus Edney. I played against, some prolific cats that went to the pro. You know what I'm saying? I got dunked on by Harold Miner. You know what I'm saying? I played against Kevin Ollie, so many others that were good basketball players and held my own very well. You know what I'm saying? But I just didn't like the fact that I noticed that we were like the basketball players now, the collegiate, they're getting paid now. If the O'Bannons didn't do that. And big up, Charles and Ed. I love y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? You know me. We ball together. I love you, your mom and pops. And I love what you did for these, these cats that's balling nowadays, because they were making money off our jerseys. They was making money off, television, the pro. Right, exactly. And that's foul. Highway robbery. You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta go to the NBA, and then they have it all programmed.
Right.
They got their Jewish people that's boostering you. And so they're handling your money. They're telling you, they're persuading you because they got your trust, and you're paying them. And the league is owned by Jewish. This is not disrespectful because it's the truth. The truth can never be disrespectful. YouTube's owned by Jewish people. That's not disrespectful. Please don't cut off the YouTube channel. Okay, we're just telling the truth, and you can't hate on them. That's smart. That's smart. But we have to start understanding that, like you said earlier, let's reflect back on entertainers. Basketball are entertainers too. They can't be our heroes because he who pays you controls you. Kyrie Irving, Kanye West. I don't care how much intellect you got. I'm not going to listen to you, really. The only entertainer I really listened to, the only one was Muhammad Ali, because he went to prison when them cats was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to the Vietnam War? Right. No, those Vietnamese didn't do nothing to me. Well, you got to go to prison. Okay, that's it. Down. You taking away your time? You never could get time back. Like today, we're talking to each other. I can never reverse this, my brother. We may not ever meet again in about a year. We can't control time.
Right.
So the thing is, I just really think that we need to start putting emphasis on us building our own infrastructure and in numbers and not having leaders. Because all they're going to do is shoot them or poison them. But if we have a group, Asian style, you get why they ain't getting smoked. You got a big group, and then everyone's like, I ain't the leader. Who they going to kill? See, that's what we're having a problem with, ego. We want to be the best. We want to, have all the women liking us, Dr. Umar. We need 500 Dr. Umars. We need 500 Jay Morrisons that aren't stealing from the community. See, because Umar, I gave you $360 and you got like 10 students, homie. What's going on with you? You speak a good game, though. Jay Morrison, from what I heard, he took a lot of people money, homie. We can't do that to our people. Whenever I start, well, not me, but My Brothas Spot is owned by 20 black investors that I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? And I think they're hiding and they bought out my YouTube channel. I think they're hiding. They have a representative that calls me. I think they're hiding because they're about to make a website that's where entertainers that you can make your own and own your masters, all that. People who are influencers like me and you, we gonna be the first podcast, My Brothas Spot, and it's gonna be your own website, own servers, all that stuff. They're investing in all this. So if you're making $85,000 and you own all your masters, are you a comedian and own all your stuff? Why am I gonna sign with them? That's why they're hiding, because they know they get killed. That's how bad it is here. That's why a lot of our people don't really go extra, because they don't want to die. And these grimy people, that's how they rule. They rule with fear. So that's why we need a whole group. And the reason why I say Asian style, because I grew up with a good amount of Asians in LA, and this Korean dude that I went to grade school and to high school, he broke it down. He was like, we do it in big groups. And they don't even know who the leader is. Y'all need to do that. He gave me the dopest gym when I was in high school. Yeah. We don't do that. We got to get huge groups, put it in paperwork, put it in trust, all this other stuff, and deal with, sometime we ain't going to make money off this, but it's going to make our future better. That's how they go about it. The Korean coalition, the Japanese, you could see the federations. They're just like the Jewish federations. The NAACP, he who pays you controls you.
Right.
So who are majority donors? So if you don't listen to them, they're going to take the money away.
Right.
That's why I'm not really down with the NAACP, because whatever we get in the future, it has to be all us, like 99%. It has to, because he who pays you controls you. And now they're going to the digital dollar and all that. We got to start understanding that technology, and we got to start embracing our nerds, because if they're going to them, our minds are powerful.
Right.
So any last words you want to say, my brother?
Man, I just appreciate you for this opportunity, man. I enjoyed this conversation. Anything you need from me, man, don't hesitate. Let me know.
I'm going to be in touch with
Absolutely,
you.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if you need me for anything, for the background, anything, I'm learning. So I'll do it for free.
Appreciate
if you out here. Okay. I help you with your moving your stuff and all that, because I feel you're doing something great. And we need it. We need to bridge our relationships together. I hate that we're fighting. In LA, brothers and sisters have been fighting ever since that crack hitting the community. Boom. It was just like a big crater. And I had none in common with the sisters like 3 years later. See, when I was younger, I had some in common with them before crack, but my parents stayed together. their parents broke up. It was a disconnect because of the environment, and I'm mad at them. I hate that because, you know, it messed up my relationship, and I could have easily been like some of the other brothers that grew up in cars with me. Oh, I'm gonna get a Asian girl. I'm gonna get a white girl. I'm gonna mix. But I got me a sister because I love my mama. And I don't think a lot of those guys really love their mom. If you love your mom, you're gonna get with someone that look like your mom. And that's not saying other races of women aren't beautiful. It's just, I want my queen. That's how we should all think.
Yeah.
So my man Allan from We Need to Talk, check him out on YouTube. My Brothas Spot. We out.
We out.
Peace.